Hello, everybody. I'm Larry Ridley, and this is the NFL on EA Sports. It's a fresh start throughout the league here in Week 1 as these two teams have high hopes for the season ahead. It's the Giants going up against the Texans. With that, let's call in our commentators, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis, with this opening week matchup.
All right, Larry, EA Sports coverage of the National Football League is on the air. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the New York Giants and the Houston Texans. Hi again, everyone. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And, Charles, we look at this Texan ball club entering play here. An early season tilt. And when it's an early season tilt, should be ready to roll.
Well, let's face it, the aches and pains haven't really set in yet. And both teams eyeing a really...
And I don't think from what we saw down on the field before the game, there's any doubt they're ready to roll.
They pass the eye test, don't they? This team looks fired up and ready to play.
The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. So here are the Giants ready to start their initial drive of the game. And they'll be led out by their quarterback, the Stanford man. It's Andrew Luck.
I love everything about Andrew Luck's game, but I also love his worldliness. Some of his formative years were spent growing up outside of the United States. And I think that that's helped him when he came back because now he's seen the world, and I think that helped him mature a little bit as well.
And the D looking like they may blitz. And he will lose yardage here back at the 23-yard line. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up second down. Okay, there's a tone setter. First play from scrimmage, stuff them in the backfield.
You know what they were doing last night in the hotel room? Visualizing exactly that. That's what they were thinking about. Making that play, having leverage, lower than the offensive lineman, getting into the offensive backfield, knocking someone down. Just what you said, set the tone early for this game.
Jeez, you are fired up.
When I see a play like that, I can't help it.
3 and out, a real danger here on their opening drive as they come up on a 3rd and 12. A shotgun snap for Luck. And he's going to go down. The Texans come at him and able to bring him to the ground. Well, they went with the nickel. They throw in an extra defensive back. Coverage was very good.
Yeah, it was exactly as you would expect. A passing down. You bring in the nickel package. Just as you described, the coverage was excellent and allowed one of their linemen to end up getting to the quarterback.
To punt it away on 4th down, here's Drew Kaiser. This is fielded at the 27. We'll call that a punt of 54 yards. Well struck. And the Texans will take over with a 1st and 10. So out come the Texans for their opening drive. The former national champion at Clemson bringing him onto the field. And that's the signal caller, Deshaun Watson.
Tremendous overall athlete. Does everything that you're looking for. Big time in the quarterback run game against their better opponents, but can also operate skillfully from the pocket and can beat you with his mind as well.
Come on, let's go! Flex round! Ohio! Ohio! Flex round! Flex round! Check nickel.
And he'll get this up to about the 38-yard line. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9. And this O-line, it is the lifeblood of the offense.
They establish the tone. Mean, nasty, physical. They can't wait to get after people. That allows the rest of the offense to feel confident.
second down following the run.
Come on, let's go. Red 38. Red 38.
To throw is Watson. It's a short one here, complete to the tight end. And he'll get up near the 45. They'll spot it at the 44. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a third down.
When you execute a drag or a crossing route really well and give them a chance to let it develop a little bit, you can gain some significant yardage hitting your tight end on that one.
And on third down, a nickel formation here defensively.
Flex round. Flex round. Here we go.
Watson now to throw. Going down the middle, and it's complete. And he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. They convert on third with a gain of 22. He's such a good route runner. Shows it there on third down. Very proficient and a good pass.
And you know what I've observed over the years in the NFL? The better a route runner you are, the more confidence your guy's going to have in you to go to you in important times because he can trust you being in the right spot, and they connected there and picked up a first down. Every year I go to the combine and marvel at the speeds that linebackers are running nowadays. They run like DBs. And let's face it, they know how to finish plays too. Eyes up, head up, run right.
Touchdown, Houston.
I think if you pulled defensive backs, they would say the corner route, take that out, make it illegal, because that is so hard to recognize and so hard to adjust because your first move is to not get beat in the middle of the field. And that's how they move you first before they break off to the corner.
But then as the wide receiver, great job. It's tough to turn those upfield and go, but he did a great job with it there.
Really good balance, really good body control. And how about the end result? A touchdown.
The drive summary that time, 5 plays. And the result, a Houston touchdown. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. That's fielded in the end zone. And he'll elect not to return this one, so they'll bring it out to the 25 on the touchback. New York set to take the field. And they'll certainly be trying to do better than that first drive where they went 3 and out.
And sometimes the first drive is just simply to settle nerves. You know what it's like at the start of a game with the emotion. Guys a little bit jumpy.
But you do.
Oh, you understand the same way. It's just like us calling one, right? Making sure we ease into the game, let it come to us.
Defenders giving chase, but I don't think they're going to get there. The 20. And he will take it on in for a giant touchdown. A big play there. 75 yards. And the Giants are an extra point away from tying up this football game. And those are the highlight reel runs you dream of right there.
When he gets a seam and just gets through it, how about the explosiveness, the burst to get there to begin with, and then once he's in full gallop, good luck trying to track him down.
And those plays so demoralizing for the defense.
Absolutely, because you've done so much work trying to keep people in front of you. When they're past you and behind you, that's a tough one to swallow.
And a nice return sets them up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. The Texans offense now, they get set to head back on the field here. And that last drive, a long drive, but not just that. They had a great air attack going. Do they stick with that?
I would think that they would, because if they were confident enough to do it on the last drive, starting backed up in their own territory, why would you change anything? They've got to be confident about what they're presenting and continue to do so.
Yeah, because the secondary, they really look clueless.
And that was amazing because that drive went and went, no adjustments, and no big plays by the defense to knock the ball away.
And we look now at the defense for the Giants.
So many people have Landon Collins scouted as a guy who was excellent in run support and would struggle in pass coverage, especially in the back end of the defense. But in 2016, he made a massive jump as a safety, able to drop in the box, cover deep, and make plays on the football. In fact, I talked with his coach in the offseason, and he told me he's about 65 to 70% of reaching his potential.
They'll lose a yard, and it brings up third.
One of the beauties of a 3-4 defense is that you have flexibility with your linebackers and you can put them in different spots. But one of the downsides is an offensive team that's committed to running the football, you can get your big offensive linemen up on linebackers quicker and that usually gives you an advantage in running it.
Throwing on third down, Watson trying to lay one up deep. He's got a man, complete. That one will go down as 33 yards on the third down conversion.
There will always be a place for methodically marching the ball downfield, but when you can pick it up in big chunks and strike like that, have explosive plays, that's often the difference in winning and losing. Those types of plays that can knock a defense off balance, that'll drive a team towards a victory.
Now a handoff here to his running back. And he'll work his way inside the 30 now to the 28. 9 yards is the pickup there, and they'll have a 2nd and 1. If these kinds of lanes are available, you have to feel like he's going to have a pretty big game on the ground.
Yeah, you can tell early on he's got a little burst in his step, and that's a big pickup right there on first down.
With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin, and it's Texans football as we get going in quarter number 2. They're looking at a 2nd and short yardage to start things out. And on the outside, they're playing press coverage. And I don't think he got there. No, they stop him right where it all started. Not enough there for a first. No gain, as a matter of fact. And it leaves them at 3rd and 1.
Well, after that stop, you know that third down is not a gimme if you're on the offensive team. So what are you going to do? Run it again? Or maybe you go play action and try and throw the ball and pick up the necessary yardage.
And he's able to pick up the first down here before he goes down at the 26. They only get 2 there, but on 3rd and 1, that's all they needed to keep the drive going.
Well, he hasn't made much of an impact in the running game thus far, and after that last run, not much is going to change in that area.
He hasn't been able to get anything going, and really the offensive line not helping him much. In motion right here, Boyd. Now they'll run it on the toss. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4.
And when you get good yardage like that on first down, it really does a whole lot of good for your entire offense. But I love the way he's finishing those runs. At the end of things, he's making sure he gets just a little bit extra.
Here we go.
They'll try the air now with Watson. And he's got it. And he'll take this one in for a Texans touchdown. He's having a nice little first half here, partner.
And it's a first half that leaves us anticipating what can still come. I mean, 2 touchdowns already here through the 2nd quarter. There could be plenty more before this game is over.
Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. A look at the running back, the man out of the backfield as he gears up to go again. And I'm wondering if maybe they don't go away from him on this drive a little bit. He's been great, but they haven't scored a lot of points.
I think they still have to show him as a threat, make sure he touches it a few times. But as you pointed out, use him as a decoy a little bit and get the ball in the hands of some other people in order to put more points on the board. But he's done a really nice job of establishing them with his running.
Yeah, he's established himself well. Now can they put more points up? On first down, it's Love. It's a short one here, complete to his tight end. That throw good for 4. It's 2nd down.
How about the timing on that one? Well, they were in sync, weren't they? 3-step drop, balls out of his hands, right to the tight end. Nice completion, just like they do it in practice.
They'll run it now out of the gun. Now a loose football. The ball comes out. And the Texans say they have it. They do.
The psychology of the game never ceases to amaze me because you would think there would never be a fumble from what we hear from coaches all the time, right?
And how much they practice now.
Our humans out there running around, and we just saw another one.
Opportunistic by the defense. And the Texans set to come onto the field. It's a quick turnaround for them after the turnover, but the way they moved it on their last drive, they're probably eager to get right back at it.
And you know me and you know my tendencies in this situation. What do I want right now?
Be aggressive.
Be aggressive. Take your shot right here.
And this is one of those bang-bang plays, Charles. Did the knee hit first or did the ball come out first?
This is where you need that 20/20 eyesight, don't you, Brandon? You've got to see which one happened first. If the knee hit the ground, then they will keep possession.
After reviewing the play, the line on the field is reversed.
Following the fumble recovery, here's Locke. And that is incomplete.
I'm not sure we could spot any tendency here on this third down. They could have run it or passed it. Either one was available. They chose to try and get it through the air, but they were unsuccessful.
He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. And he didn't quite have the backspin on that one. It hits at the 4 and continues into the end zone. It's a touchdown. And now out comes Houston. And right now they're saying, hey, let's keep this going. 2 drives, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, can't ask for a better start than that, can you? I mean, this is the way you practice it. This is the way you rehearse it. But right now, the play calling, they're locked in really well.
Open now to get back in the end zone on his 4th possession. Fights forward for only about a yard up to the 21.
Well, they didn't get a whole lot out of that one, but I think you've got to continue to try and run and try and keep a defense honest.
You mean or else they'll just sit back, dare you to throw it on every down?
Yeah, you get your quarterback hit a lot that way, too.
Gonna give this time to the tailback. And he'll wind up losing yardage here back at the 21-yard line. And they'll lose a yard that time, and that's going to lead to a 3rd down. And the offense there, the O-line, everybody really on offense, they were just manhandled at the point of attack.
Yeah, you could pretty much call them all out, couldn't you? Almost by name, right? That was a very tough sequence for the offensive line. But how about that defensive front creating a new line of scrimmage and creating a lost yardage possibility?
Time running out here on the play clock. Watson on 3rd down. Going for the deep ball. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete.
One of the toughest things about playing defensive back is pattern reading, trying to figure out what they're doing. And on that one, they had the fly, just sending a guy downfield with the in route accompanying it, what people call a dagger route, trying to hit the guy underneath after the clear out. In this case, though, they're not able to get it done.
Yeah, they said forget the underneath route. They went for the guy on the fly, but as you said, incomplete. A 44-yard punt. They're going to wind up losing yardage on the return, though. And it'll be Giant football 1st and 10. On 1st and 10, Locke. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. A really nice pickup of 14 yards, and it moves the sticks. On 1st down, Locke. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. They give him 13 yards there on the play and a fresh set of downs. Now a handoff as they run left side. And they went the wrong way there, losing yardage back at the 43-yard line. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be second down. Here's Luck now on second down. Under pressure, and the Texans able to get in there for the sack. And now maybe they want some extra time to talk about this third and long play as we'll get a timeout. As they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime. On third down, that's Carpenter. And he'll lose yardage here, back at the 47. Now the defense going to use the first of their timeouts. So as they take it over, we step aside. Here's Drew Kaiser now as he's on to punt for New York. And he gets it away, a directional kick going toward the sideline. And this will carry out of bounds. Where are they going to spot it now? At about the 18-yard line, it looks like. Deshaun Watson of the Texans offense trot back out there. And he's been good. 2 first-half touchdown passes, no interceptions so far.
Does a lot for your confidence. Does a great deal for your team. Gives them a lead, and they're feeling really good about how they're playing. I think he expects to throw at least another one.
I was going to say, now he wants the first-half hat trick, doesn't he?
Oh, without a doubt. Go ahead and fling him on the field, folks. He wants that type of celebration.
On first down, it's Watson. And got his man, complete. 20, 10, touchdown, Houston. A big play there, 82 yards. And the Texans are able to show off their quick strike ability. And that'll give them a 2-score lead here, but I'm looking ahead. They just want to hold it for the final moments here in the second quarter. They don't want to give up anything on the other side.
No, not at all, because if they don't, it almost had the feel of an imposing their will score. And right now, they want to make sure they keep that and carry it into the second half.
A first scoring update now from Carolina. That one now a 2-touchdown advantage for the Panthers. We'll keep you updated on that one as it progresses. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. That's fielded in the end zone. And he'll elect not to return this one, so they'll bring it out to the 25 on the touchback. The Giants offense now, they get ready to head back on the field. And what do you think goes on here in this situation? If you got the football, you're trailing, you're back in your own territory with just a little time. Do you try something?
You're thinking about jump-starting your team, right? You just mentioned it. They're down. They're trying to get back into the game. But you got to figure, if something goes wrong, you may have put yourself in a spot where you may not be able to come back in the second half. Managing risk is a big decision here.
Incomplete. Allen Robinson, the intended receiver. And now it's second down.
The one thing that I've liked defensively is that they've shown him a lot of different looks here in the first half. They've come after him. They've sat back. I think that's what you need to do to keep an offense guessing. And
they certainly have kept them on their toes. That's why they haven't had much success on the scoreboard. Quick hitter here. It's complete. And this one will go to the 28-yard line. And now the Texans want to call another timeout. So that means they're down to 1 remaining here as we head toward halftime. On third down, it's Carpenter. And just a short gain that time as they're able to get him down. Now the defense will burn their third and final timeout. And with halftime on the horizon, they'll be out of timeouts from here forward. Here's Drew Kaiser now. He's been one of their few bright spots so far. This is taken around the 12. A big boot that time. 57 yards, the official distance. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. Elsewhere, second quarter in D.C. And the Redskins there out to an early lead. That one tight to this point, and you'd have to imagine it'll stay tight throughout. On first and 10, Watson. He's going to let this one go deep. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out. Incomplete.
Well, partner, I guess that answers the question about whether they're going to sit on it or not.
It does. Now we'll see if they try that again.
Yeah, I think what we find on plays like that, when you take that shot, if you're unsuccessful, then you go way more conservative to finish the half, you know? I think that's the way they'll go.
Here we go. Flex round.
Throwing again is Watson. Going up top. Oh, this is taken in. It's complete. A big play there just before halftime. 41 yards. So we've reached halftime here on opening week. All right, we will save the week one highlights and apparently get right back to the action here in the third. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. This fielded at the 2. And some space here. And he's got daylight. It's a foot race. Touchdown, Houston. Always important to get the first score of the second half. Now you start to pull away a little bit and get some breathing room going.
And now we find out about the fortitude of the group that's behind, because they were counting on getting into the game a little bit more, right? Maybe they get the first score. That doesn't happen. It looks almost insurmountable, but it's not. Let's see how hard they play the rest of the game.
What an explosive kickoff return from the 2 all the way to the end zone. A 98-yard return for 6. So now the other return teams out there, as they'll try to duplicate what they just saw. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he won't return this one. He'll go down to a knee, and they'll start at the 25. Here's the Giants offense now getting set to start the third quarter. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
Well, you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
And out of bounds on the other side of midfield at the 45. Give him 30 yards there.
The best passing attacks in the NFL often incorporate the guys out of the backfield catching the football. And that's what we just got on that play. As a primary receiver, not always just a check down, not always a safety valve. Sometimes they just get it to them right away because they have the matchup advantage.
Solid running on the carry, but still brought down just inside of the 40. A solid run on first down. Gain of 7 leaves them with a 2nd and 3.
Well, no matter how they phrase it, staying on schedule, staying ahead of the sticks, whatever you want to call it, 7 yards on first down, that fits the bill.
He lost 2 there, and it's third down. Making now 3 tackles for a loss in this game, 1 for each quarter.
And for a guy who played defense in college, I can just tell you that he's feeling very satisfied right now by what he's doing, but he's elated because he knows what he's doing is helping his team win the game right now, making some big-time plays, getting into the offense's backfield and spilling everything.
A good gain of 14 there, and it moves the chains. If you're going to blitz, likely going to leave you in man coverage with this guy, and that is less than ideal.
It is, because just about any offense that has an elite receiver, if you blitz and have him in man coverage, you're going to him, even if he has an elite defender on him, because he usually knows where the ball is before the defender does. Tremendous coverage there. Just did not catch the football and complete the interception. But what do they say all the time? If he had really good hands, he'd be playing offense.
Now it's Locke. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Potter. And he'll go down here right around the 23-yard line. That throw good for only a couple. It brings up third down.
I think it's okay there. They didn't get a whole lot on that play, but it's nice to have a safety valve that's built like this guy. Big target, guy you can spot pretty easily. Put it on him when your other targets aren't open.
And they can't get the long connection as it falls incomplete. They have not gotten him going at all. Tried to spark something there with a longer throw, unable to complete it.
But you have to keep trying. He's one of their best playmakers. No matter what it says on the scoreboard, you're always trying to get him the football.
And the 38-year-old vet able to split the uprights. And the drive will wind up yielding 3. So a good drive there to begin quarter number 3, but they're only able to shave 3 points off that lead.
And now you put the pressure on your defense, who didn't particularly play all that well in the first half. But they're going to need to step it up here and make some plays if these guys are going to have any chance.
Now after the field goal, Bailey will kick it away. This fielded at the 2. And a nice job there as he gets this one up just shy of the 35-yard line at the 34. Now the Texans offense, they head back out to do battle here. A carry heading left. And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line. That'll wind up going for a loss of 4. And that's going to make it 2nd and 14. Here's Watson. And boy, that one drops incomplete, but if he was hit a fraction sooner, it may have been a fumble. Well, the numbers have been good in the passing game, and certainly a big reason why they have the lead. But now here, third quarter, maybe go to the run game a little more?
Yeah, perhaps. I mean, after that incompletion, a little credit to the defense for shutting them down on that play. Maybe you try and run the football a little bit more in this spot.
There he goes left side. And he's in. Touchdown, Houston. A big play there with now 3 Week 1 touchdowns. And the Texans will extend their lead.
You have fun with this one, partner?
I am. I mean, he's been fun to watch under center.
We always talk about, getting to the next level, right? When we see people get into the zone. This guy's in the master class right now. What a performance he's putting on, just carving them up. 4 touchdown passes. Carving him up is right. Seems like everything he throws is going to be a completion and going in the end zone. That's fielded in the end zone. And he won't return this one. He'll go down to a knee, and they'll start at the 25. There again is the running back as he trots onto the field. He's had a good performance, moved the ball effectively on the ground. Of course, he has the 1 touchdown. And when you're able to move it as effectively as you've described, that leads to finding a way into the end zone, and now he's just trying to do. And he's going to go down. The Texans come at him and able to bring him to the ground. How about that? One of the so-called little guys putting the pressure on. That was a strong safety. When I was in college, we often called that a lightning blitz. On second down, here's Locke. And incomplete on the deep ball. And this is a guy straight out of college. They're not going to try to groom for a year or 2. They want him to produce right away. That's why they took him in the first round. They expect him to be a starter right away and a future all-pro. So they don't have any time to wait for him to come along. They want him to play right now to help this team. And you take a look at this draft class from a season ago. Really, it grades out as a pretty darn good class. So you have to give a lot of credit. Trying to get it to Beckham, and it's intercepted. Picked off at the 30. And they will score a pick 6 for the Texans TD. This D wanted to put it away before we even get to the fourth quarter, widening that margin a bit further. And while they won't just empty the bench just yet, if you're a backup, start loosening up. I think you'll get a chance to play before this one is over now with that type of a cushion. And the lead grows even larger here in the third quarter. A heck of a play there defensively, getting the interception, navigating his way into the end zone for the touchdown. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And all that work, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been, and he's simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line.
And New York set to take the field. And fresh off the pick six, they've got to forget about that quickly.
In this case now, the guy throwing the ball, he's got to be like what we talk about with defensive backs who get beat for a long touchdown. Short-term memory, right back out there doing the things that he does best, and knowing that taking care of the ball is paramount. Here's his opportunity.
All comes back to those defensive backs for the former DB, right?
I don't know where that comes from. It just kind of emerges out of me for some reason.
It's deep in there, right? Here's Locke. It's a short one here, complete to the tight end. That catch good for only a yard, and it'll be 3rd down.
And when you're playing a quarterback with some experience and some moxie, you enter the danger zone when you decide to blitz him, because if he's able to diagnose as he did on that play, he can hurt you downfield.
He reads defenses so well, doesn't he?
He really does, and the best part about that play for him, I don't think that was his primary target.
I don't think so either.
I think he had the read, figured out where the blitz was coming from, and went to a secondary target for a really nice gain.
And at this stage, down in the second half, looks like they just wanted to find a way to get it in the hands. Back now here on EA Sports. And this is a blowout so far as we get set for the 4th quarter. A very one-sided affair. Luck on 1st down. And he'll be brought down, it looks like right at the 40. Call it a pickup of 7, and that'll bring up 2nd down. And the offense still has a couple plays to go to pick up the first on 2nd down and 3. From the gun, here's Locke. And a quick throw here, that's complete. And he'll go down here at the 35-yard line. They get 5 out of that one, and it moves the chains. That's just his 2nd catch of the game. They wanted to keep him silent. They have kept him silent.
Defensive football 101. Don't let the best player on offense beat you. Take him out of the game, and they've done a great job of doing it.
And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
To throw on 2nd down is Locke. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25. So after that big play, let's see if they can catch their defense maybe on their heels. Now a 1st down throw, Locke. And he's got his man on the out route. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up 2nd down.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks, because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be.
And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack.
Brandon, I think you understand the type of afternoon this offensive line is having. It is a long one for them. Long for you to spend it with me. Long for them trying to block those guys. They've given up a whole lot of sacks, and the speed and quickness of that defensive line is eating them alive.
Under pressure again, and down he goes again.
This has been a tough one for this offensive line. It appears almost like they've been on roller skates this entire game, the way they've been pushed around. 6 sacks given up in this one.
So out comes a field goal team now for the 2nd time here today. This officially a 55-yard attempt. That's running out of steam, and it won't get there. He left it just short, no good, and this score will stay right where it is.
Everything looked good. Good snap, good hold. Sometimes, though, the ball just doesn't want to go where you want it, and this one winds up no good.
The Texans offense now, they get set to head back onto the field. And this game comfortably in hand. The scoreboard speaks for itself, but you still got your starting quarterback out there. When do you go to the backup? Let him get some time.
And that's one of the great questions in the NFL, Brandon, because I'm just going to tell you, in the 2015 season, I commentated on 3 games in a row that were blowouts. And in none of them did the starting quarterback ever come out of the game for the team that had a big lead. And in each instance, I asked the coaches later on, why didn't you do that? And they all looked at me and said, Just don't really do that in the NFL. You know, these guys play, and we just play them all the way through. Now, in certain situations, they will take them out, but for the most part, they're not as worried and concerned about getting them out of the game, and that's always puzzled me a little bit.
So it's Texans football as we welcome you back. They've got a third down now as they look for one more first down to help salt this one away. And he'll give it here to his running back. Pass, and he's free going down the left side. It's a foot race. And he will get into the end zone. It's another touchdown. This thing is ugly. I think all teams probably like seeing that schedule for the first time, looking at week one. Oh, good, we're at home. This is why you want to be home in week one. They're looking sharp.
And I agree with you totally. That's what you want. But there carries a little extra pressure with that as well, because you and I both know protecting the home field, winning your home games is paramount in this league. So you go into it, yeah, we want it, but now you actually have to go out and prove it.
Yeah, two sides to that coin, and looking like they're going to protect it here in this one. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. That's fielded in the end zone. And New York set to take the field. They've lost this one. Their offense has struggled. Do they try to put together something here at the end just to take into next week?
Yeah, sometimes teams want to do that and coaches want to. I remember one time I was on a team and we were losing late in a game like this, and you knew it was lost. It was over, right? And the coach called a running play and pretty much said to everyone, I want to see something executed well before we get out of here. And that was the message to the team.
Just something to build on.
Just something to build on, get it done, and maybe we can look at that and say, we'll get better as we go forward.
Love. And he's got some space here. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. Offense comes to the line now, 1st and 10.
Watch tight. Tight is right. Watch tight. Tight is right. Pick up. 540.
Out of the gun, Luck. And he will find his man on the outside.
Blitz.
Holding offense.
Well, there have been a ton of sacks. They were just trying to prevent another.
So what you're telling me is the conventional way has not really worked for them, huh?
Not at all.
Not all. So he tries to grab him here, and they still get caught.
To throw is Luck. Oh, he can't hang on. That was a dream chance for any D lineman to possibly get a pick. But instead it falls down incomplete. Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is
under pressure, and the Texans able to get in there for the sack.
This offensive line flat out cannot handle this pass rush. We've seen it demonstrated time and time again to the tune of 7 sacks in this game thus far.
3rd and long. It's Locke. Well, had his hands on it, couldn't bring it in. Pretty symptomatic of how this game's been going.
This defense was definitely alert to the possibility of the deep ball, and they were more than ready for it.
They've got the lead, 4th quarter. Maybe can expect more passes like that downfield. And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. This is brought in at the 21. 21 yards. Well done on the return. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. Elsewhere, 4th quarter score now for Baltimore. And the Titans dominant. They have at Marcus Mariota. Clearly the story here. 5 touchdown passes thus far.
Let's round. Let's go. Let's round.
Now they try the right side here. Oh, he's got some breathing room. 15 yards. The Texans pick up the first down.
Do my eyes deceive me, or is he getting stronger as this game moves along?
Burst seems just as good here in the fourth as it was way back in the first, doesn't it?
I do believe someone put a lot of time in the offseason and continues to condition during the season in order to continue to carry the ball at this rate.
Looking for a cutback lane, but nothing there as he's met at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there. Second down. He makes a wonderful play there off the corner, protecting his side of the field.
Oh, that reminds me of the great defenses of old, doesn't it? The Pittsburgh Steelers steel curtain. They would not let you get on the field if you could only do one thing. You had to be a complete guy, and you had to be able to tackle.
Now, I know I've said this before, but you know I wasn't alive when the steel curtain was playing. I know them, but I just want to let you know I wasn't alive.
I'm going to keep peppering that in there, and one of these days you're going to think that you were. Well, so many times we look at a short run and we praise the offense for trying to set the tempo and establish things, but the defensive guys, hey, they just won the battle there. It wasn't a big run given up. They don't always have to absorb the body blows. Sometimes they dish them out themselves.
On third down, Watson. And it's going to be incomplete. He was able to catch it there on the right sideline, but out of bounds, says the line judge. And it's going to bring up fourth down. Fourth quarter, you've got the big lead. If you're coaching, Charles, you still taking shots like that downfield?
I'd be a little more concerned with running some clock and making sure you're taking care of the lead, because you keep flinging it around, you throw a couple of picks, you could put yourself in jeopardy.
And with things looking pretty good on the scoreboard, they're going to keep the offense out there and go for it here on fourth. They will indeed snap it to Watson. He's going to launch this thing way down. And this will be caught. Well, forget taking the knee. Some late gamesmanship here as they throw for a late touchdown. I tell you, Charles, you play to the final whistle, I get that. But there are a few folks that might not be too happy with that score late in the game with it already well in hand.
You seem a little squeamish about that last score.
I struggle with it. I struggle. But on the argument, I get it, on the other side is, hey, do something about it. Stop them.
I guarantee you, I know who was really excited. Fantasy owners who had them. Hey, listen, get the points from me. They're not worried about hurt feelings or anything like that. That's just new age stuff.
They've gone to the fourth quarter now in Dallas. And the Cowboys have wound up winning that one. A win would be their second on the young season.